we're talking toys with the toy queen herself, Carrie Wilmot. Welcome, Carrie.
Hey, Cindy.
So Carrie's going to tell us a little bit about the benefits of some of the toys that we have carefully chosen here at ISIS. And Carrie, why don't you talk a little bit about your background and you know, what makes you a toy queen?
Okay, for the last 11 years I've been a pediatric occupational therapist who has worked with children to advance their developmental skills. So I kind of got into the business of toys, just using them every day during treatment sessions, things like that. So it was always important to me to find a toy that was motivating for a child to want to learn. So a few years ago we started toyqueen.com so that all parents could find toys that would stimulate their child's development. So what we have here today, I'm going to give you one to hold up.
Oh, they're so cute.
Skip Hop has these stroller toys. We have a little owl here, and you have
I have a birdie.
A bird. And they're multi-textured. Some rattle, some crinkle, which are all great to stimulate as a newborn baby. You want to stimulate a variety of senses.
Mm-hmm.
What's great about these little stroller toys, which I always loved with my son when he was an infant, is you can attach them to everything. I had them on his stroller, I had them on my diaper bag, I had them on his car seat. I would attach 1,000 different links onto them so that they had like strings so that in case they fell.
So they could toss it, you can bring it back in.
Yeah, exactly. I would even, I had a suction cup toy on his high chair. I would even link them to those. So these are all great to use for that, newborn to 6-month age where kids are just looking at toys and wanting to explore them with their hands and their mouth.
And their mouth, of course. Speaking of suction cups, we have the Sassy Wonder Wheel. Yep. And this looks fabulous. This is new.
This toy says it's for 6 months and up, and maybe, from a fine motor perspective, that's when kids are really starting to explore something at 6 months, but I can remember my son being 4 months old and just being interested in looking at things, and I would put him in his little booster seat with his little high chair, I would suction cup this to the tray, and I'd move it, and he just would look at it in awe. So, I always say to parents too, just because something says 6 months, as long as you know where their developmental skill is at and what they like to do, then you might be able to use something a little bit earlier. But he would sit and absolutely would love to play with these. They're multi-sensory, they make noises, but they have little pieces for them so that when they are 6 months old and they're more working on refined fine motor skills, then it's a toy that will grow with them for a long period of time.
This is the Alex Stack-A-Cake.
And actually it looks like an adorable little birthday cake, but hidden underneath here these rings come off and you can actually use it as a ring stacker. So for kids that are working on putting things on, taking things off, it's always easier for them to remove the rings first before you encourage them to put them back on. But there's all sorts of different little textures for them to touch and hold on to. There's different patterns for them to look at. So again, this is another toy. You could even, just with the taking the rings off, giving them something to hold, letting them work on transferring back and forth from one hand to the other. This is a great
so
toy.
This would be versatile. I mean, you can use these individually.
Exactly.
Just little rattles.
Exactly. Even as an infant, I am also a big fan of toys that grow with kids over a period of time so that you have some good, they're cost effective because toys can be expensive. But yeah, you could use this for an infant and just work on tracking back and forth, something for them to reach up and grab to, get your little links, dangle them from your activity arch, and you got a multi-use toy.
This is the Green Toys blocks set.
These are really nice. They're nice and big for small hands to hold. And again, kids, before they can put something on, it's easier for them to take them apart. So I was just to stack blocks up and just give them to kids and let them pull them all into 1,000 different pieces. What is nice about these is where they're big and thick, they also probably would make great tub toys. So not only can you play with them on the floor, you can take them to the tub. For those of you that have sensory tables at home, sand tables, or go to the beach a lot, they'd probably be another great thing for kids to use as a mold in different places.
Right, because they're hollow inside, so you can fill and spill with them too.
Exactly.
That's great.
Rice tables. A lot of people do kidney bean tables now. Things, all different types of sensory experiences. So try to think outside the box and not just use them for blocks are great and they're a good developmental skill, but You know, there's lots of other different places that you can use them. Another thing with these types of blocks that I like to do is for kids that are working on their gross motor skills is you can stack them up really tall. If they're working on, you know, balancing on one leg, encourage them to kick them over. You can have them, you know, play on their knees and reach up really high to build a tall tower. So you can work on more than just fine motor skills with these great classic toys.
All right, this is the Wonder Walker from Educo, and it's another brand new product for us, and it's a really fun little walker.
It's a wooden walker. What I always like with kids that are learning how to pull themselves up to stand and learning how to walk is to have something that's durable and sturdy that they're going to push behind. So many things are not as durable and sturdy, so they go to walk behind them and they flip over, they fall over, so it's like a, you know, crash waiting to happen. But this is a nice sturdy base. There's all sorts of different fine motor activities on the side. There's gears that they can turn. There's little balls over here they can move back and forth. There's different shapes that will go up and down on the path. But what's nice is there's a big open space in the front. You know, so when kids kind of, maybe they're learning to walk and they're proficient walkers, you know, they can put their stuffed animals in it and push them around.
Oh yeah, they love to do that. And that goes quite late. I mean, my preschoolers still like to do that.
Exactly, exactly. So this is a toy, again, that can be used early on and kind of progress through multiple age groups.
This is the Educo Switchback Racer. It's a little racetrack.
I still remember going to the doctor's office when I was little. The one thing that the doctor had was one of those like marble track runs where you put the marble in and it would go back and forth.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter how old you were, everybody kind of would fight over it in the office. And this reminds me of something like that, a very simple toy that's a very simple cause and effect motion, but that kids will absolutely love it forever. Same thing, my son was playing with this too, and he was like laughing hysterically. You take the little cars, and you can put them on any tier of the ramp and just let them go, and they'll go all the way down to the bottom. You know, kids that are sitting, you know, working on grasp and release, you can put them in from any angle, and they don't need, you know, to go in from the top to get all the way down to the bottom. You know, I was noticing that you can put them into the middle down here and let it go, and it'll still wind its way down to the bottom.
Great.
You know, so again, a great toy, great for multiple age groups. As kids are also, again, still working on their gross motor skills, they're standing up, they're anticipating from a cognitive problem-solving perspective, where's it going to come out at the bottom? So they're going to look for it, find it, have to squat down, use their muscles, and then stand back up. So, you know, not only are they having a lot of fun, but they're building a lot of other skills in the process.
Okay, well this is one of my huge favorites. This is the Mini Kick Scooter. And I wrote a love letter to the Mini Kick Scooter in the ISIS blog a couple of months ago when my 3-year-old got it for the first time. It was just a huge hit from the beginning.
Yeah, it's nice to have you know, toys that kids at that age can experience with safety. You know, scooters are hard for, you know, they're meant for older kids because usually they just have their, you know, one wheel in the front, one wheel in the back. So you really need to have a lot of good balance to be able to stand on them and maneuver them. But what's nice is that they add the 2 wheels on the front and they're bigger wheels, they're sturdy wheels, and they have the little one on the back. So it takes a lot of that balance component out of it. So kids can really work on learning how to steer it back and forth, shifting their weight, and gaining their balance skills. And you know, it's a great tool for them to be able to learn how to ride a regular scooter later on. And I'm always going to throw in a disclaimer: make sure you have your helmets and your elbow pads and your whatever you need to keep your kids safe when they are out on the road with you, hopefully not by themselves.
Well, in the beginning, my daughter used to just sort of shuffle along with it, like she just push it forward and forward and forward, and it must have been just a few weeks later she was zipping right along with it. So it's easy to learn.
Great.
At least for a fantastic child like my daughter.